Well, the downfall of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa brings to an end one of Sri Lanka's most powerful political dynasties. In 2005, his older brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, was elected president. Mahinda oversaw military victory over the separatist Tamil Tigers in 2009, ending the country's brutal 20-year civil war. It earned him huge support from the island's Sinhalese Buddhist majority. He remained in power until 2015, when he was defeated by the opposition, led by one of his former cabinet members. But only 4 years later, his brother Gotabaya was elected president. He promised to bring security to the island following the Easter Sunday terrorist attacks that same year. Mahinda served under him as Prime Minister until just a few months ago, when mass protests over the country's deepening economic crisis forced his resignation. Now, Saturday's protests have brought down both brothers. Well, earlier I spoke to the Sri Lankan political analyst Asanga Abeyagoonasekera, and I asked him how much he thought the Sri Lankan First family were to blame for the events of the last few days.
It was a clear historic moment, the people. It's a huge victory to the Sri Lankan people. I call it an Arab Spring moment in Sri Lanka. There was three conditions which the people protested: the autocratic regime of the family rule of the Rajapaksas, the rampant corruption, and the economic conditions. So all three basically, conditions they were against the protesters, and you can see the heavy militarization of the Gotabaya Rajapaksa regime with 27 military appointments and multiple policy blunders, which he later apologized, such as the fertilizer crisis, to many other inward ultranationalist policy prescription, which he was speaking about. And I think it's a huge victory to the Sri Lankan people, and they managed to remove him. So he has told that he will resign on the 13th of July.
Now, he hasn't been seen in public, nor has he made a statement of his own. Of course, the people gathered outside the presidential palace want to know, will he really make good on this promise to resign on Wednesday? Do you think he will?
He has no other option, because the entire country, every district, every village, everybody's out there in Colombo. With their hardship to come there, there's no fear. There is a lot of, they have gone through a lot. 70 people have been injured. So they have gone through. The president, what he did several days ago, placing the military, in between himself and the people. This is dangerous. Giving a choice for the military to take his side instead of the people was a dangerous, trajectory that he was taking the country. So I think it's a huge victory. He has no other options. He has to resign.
Now, you predicted the fall of the Rajapaksa family some time ago, but why now? After all, protests have been taking place there, haven't they, for something along the lines of 6 months?
Well, the coming anarchy in Sri Lanka, I wrote last year in June, and it was a clear indication, because the Rajapaksa regime, how they were interfering with the judiciary. Basically, they interfered with multiple institutions of the country, amending the constitution, bringing all powers to himself, the president. The first time we had a sibling regime in Sri Lanka, but there were multiple human rights concerns, there were multiple issues. So it's not one factor, it was multiple factors which triggered the downfall of the Rajapaksa regime.